There's something we've all seen, maybe in a dream, maybe on a wall, maybe just a random image online that stops us. Not because it's beautiful or detailed, but because it feels familiar. Like we've seen it before, somewhere deep in our memory, beyond this life. Symbols. Not just marks or designs, but ancient keys. They followed us through history, across civilizations, and now they're calling to us again, not for aesthetic appreciation, but because they hold raw power, real power. The kind that doesn't rely on belief or faith, but resonance. The kind that either lifts your energy or keeps you locked in cycles of confusion and disconnection if you ignore it. Right now, I'm going to tell you the truth that most people miss. These symbols aren't here for decoration. They are signals, tools, and codes. And every time you see one and dismiss it, you're walking past a door that was meant to open for you. So here's the deal: stop ignoring them, because they will keep showing up until you start listening. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss them again and again, stuck wondering why your life feels like it's on repeat, why your energy feels drained, or why no matter how hard you try, you can't raise your vibration. This isn't some mystical concept without practical impact. These 7 symbols I'm about to reveal are embedded in the very structure of reality, and when you understand what they do, you change the way you interact with everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, your environment, and yes, your destiny. The first symbol we ignore the most is the spiral. It's everywhere in nature, in galaxies, in fingerprints, even in your DNA. The spiral is not just a shape, it's a map of how energy moves. Your life doesn't move in straight lines, it spirals either upward or downward. And here's the thing: every decision you make either tightens your spiral into contraction or expands it into evolution. If you recognize the spiral in your life, you'll start seeing where you've been repeating the same loops and where the opening is for you to break out. The spiral is the symbol of expansion, and if you see it in a dream, in meditation, or even randomly around you, it's telling you this: your energy is ready to move, but you're stuck. Will you follow the spiral outward or keep circling the same old thoughts? Now, the second symbol that's been overlooked for too long is the triangle. Simple, right? But this shape is pure alchemy: mind, body, spirit, thought, emotion, action, past, present, future. Everything in your reality is built in threes. But here's what matters: the triangle points somewhere. It's directional. If you're always stuck in your mind and emotions, but never act, your triangle is broken. That's why you feel scattered. If you take action but don't align it with your thoughts or heart, you feel empty. When you see a triangle, especially upright, it's calling you to balance your internal trinity. What's missing in your triangle? That missing point is where your energy is leaking. Fix it, and you feel power come back like electricity reconnecting. This is not theory. Try it. Where are you out of balance? Fix your triangle, raise your vibration.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now let's go to the fourth symbol, the circle. Infinite. No beginning, no end. It's unity, wholeness. But in your daily life, it's showing you whether you're complete or fractured. Are you living in alignment, or are you chasing incomplete goals, incomplete relationships, incomplete self-image? The circle represents closure. Every time you ignore closure, your energy splits. You leave parts of yourself behind: unfinished tasks, unresolved pain, unsaid truths. These things weigh down your vibration like anchors. When you see the circle, it's asking, what do you need to finish, forgive, or release to become whole again? Your wholeness is your highest frequency. Fragmentation is low vibration. The circle is your call to bring your energy back to center. The third symbol is one that's been hijacked, misunderstood, and feared: the eye. Specifically, the eye within a shape, usually the triangle again, or surrounded by light. You've seen it. Most people associate it with control, surveillance, manipulation. That's the deception. The real symbol of the eye is awareness, watchfulness, the ability to observe yourself beyond ego. When you see the eye, whether in a dream or real life, it's telling you to wake up, to stop living from reaction, to stop being pulled by distractions. Your energy is being stolen not by others, but by your unconsciousness. The eye reminds you that you are the watcher. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of them. And the more you observe, the more your vibration rises. Why? Because observation without judgment cuts through illusions. It brings light into the darkest parts of your mind. And light is high vibration. Next time you see the eye, don't fear it. Use it. Become it. Fifth symbol, the cross. Forget religion for a second. The cross is about intersection. It shows you where two things meet: the physical and the spiritual, the inner and the outer, your personal will and the larger force of the universe. Where in your life are you resisting the crossing point? Where are you stuck between choosing and surrendering? The cross holds power because at that point of meeting, transformation happens. But it only happens if you stop resisting. Seeing a cross means the universe is setting up an intersection for you, but you keep trying to take the side road. No, meet it, face it. That's the door to a frequency jump. Now here's where it gets wild. The sixth symbol is the labyrinth. It's different from the spiral because it's a path with a center and a return. When you feel lost, stuck, or overwhelmed, this symbol will appear. It means you're not stuck, you're just mid-journey. The labyrinth teaches patience, trust. Every turn, every wall, is part of the design to move you inward. If you ignore this, you get frustrated, your vibration drops, and you try to escape before reaching the center. Don't. Stay in the path. Keep walking. The breakthrough is inside. The labyrinth is not a trap. It's a map. And the final symbol, the number 7. Yes, numbers are symbols too. 7 is spiritual completion. 7 notes in a scale, 7 colors in the light spectrum, 7 energy centers in your body. When 7 shows up repeatedly, it means you're completing a cycle. It's time to level up. But here's the trap: people see 7s and think they've arrived. No. 7 means you're ready for new mastery, not rest. You're being invited to raise your vibration through responsibility, not escape. Can you hold more light? Can you move through fear without clinging to the past? 7 tests your readiness. Now here's the challenge. These symbols are not rare. They are all around you. But do you see them? Or are you too distracted, too absorbed in the noise? Your vibration is your responsibility. These symbols are lifelines. Ignore them and you stay stuck. See them, use them, and you move beyond what you thought was possible. So now I ask, which of these symbols has been following you, and why do you think it won't stop? They're trying to force you to evolve before it's too late. Symbols are not passive. They are not there to be admired or feared. They are living signals embedded in reality itself, trying to break through the noise of your daily habits, your emotional loops, your constant distractions. You've seen them before. Maybe you didn't realize it, but they were there in dreams you couldn't forget, in places you didn't expect, showing up again and again until you either acted or ignored them long enough for life to force your attention through chaos or crisis. That's how it works. These symbols are like a pressure valve from the higher dimensions. When you miss the gentle reminders, reality gets louder. It will shake your relationships, your health, your mind, not to punish you, but to bring your attention back to the codes you ignored. That's why people talk about seeing the same signs before major life changes or sudden breakthroughs. It's not luck, it's design. These symbols operate like a silent alarm system from your higher self. When you are living too far from your real path, they show up to correct your course. But here's the truth: symbols won't do the work for you. They will light the path, but you still have to walk it. They're not magic tricks. They're mirrors. And the reflection they offer is often uncomfortable because it shows you what needs to change, not just what feels good. Why do people resist symbols? Because symbols demand awareness. Awareness means responsibility. And most people fear that because it means no more blaming others, no more waiting for some savior, no more avoiding action. When you really see what a symbol is telling you, you can't unsee it. That's why they're ignored. It's easier to pretend it's coincidence than to change your life. But ignoring these signals doesn't make them go away. It just postpones the inevitable. And the longer you delay, the more pressure builds. Eventually, life won't ask you to raise your vibration. It will force you. Through loss, breakdowns, or emotional collapse. Because growth is not optional. It's programmed into your soul's blueprint. Symbols are your early warning system. Now think, how many times have you seen repeating numbers, strange images, symbols that seem to follow you from one place to another? Was it just random? Or were you being nudged? You don't have unlimited time. These symbols appear at specific windows of opportunity where rapid growth is possible. If you miss the window, growth still happens, but it will be harder, more painful, more chaotic. That's why these symbols keep showing up, because your evolution can't wait anymore. They're not decorations, they are frequencies. Each one carries a vibration that interacts with your energy field. When you acknowledge the symbol, your energy begins to shift. Your thoughts get clearer. Your emotional chaos settles. You start getting insights you didn't have before. Your reality adjusts, like a radio tuning into a higher station. But if you ignore them, your energy stagnates. Confusion increases. Emotional heaviness intensifies. And you stay stuck, not because you're unlucky, but because you're blind to the signals screaming for your attention. Some people say, "Why doesn't the universe just tell me what to do?" It does. Through symbols. The problem is, you're not listening. The real reason people stay stuck is not because they lack power. but because they reject responsibility for their own awareness. Symbols are a test of presence. Can you see beyond surface reality? Can you act without needing full proof? The universe doesn't give proof, it gives signs. Your job is to respond. People wait for clarity before acting, but clarity comes after you respond to the symbol, not before. That's the secret. The symbol appears, you act, and then the path opens. Wait for certainty, and the door closes. That's why most people never change. They wait too long. They miss the window. Symbols force you to trust something deeper than your logic. They connect you to intuition, to the nonverbal knowing that is faster and more accurate than thought. Every time you respond to a symbol, your intuition strengthens. Every time you ignore it, your inner signal weakens. Then you get lost in overthinking, anxiety, doubt, wondering why life feels chaotic. The reason is simple: your internal guidance is offline. You disconnected. Symbols are your reconnection point. They are not there for your comfort. They are there to elevate your state, to demand growth, to force your evolution before your current patterns destroy your potential. Because they will. Unchanged patterns lead to decay. That's not fear, it's physics. Energy that doesn't move collapses. Your soul came here to expand. If you're not expanding, your life will collapse until you do. Symbols are the warning before collapse, but they are also the tools to rise. You've seen the spiral, the triangle, the eye, the circle, the cross, the labyrinth, the seven. You know now what they do. But the real question is, what will you do with them? Will you shift your focus, align your actions, complete your cycles, face your intersections, walk your path, hold your power? Or will you wait until life leaves you no choice? Symbols don't just appear, they choose their moment. This is yours. Don't waste it. Because the symbol that keeps returning is not chasing you, it's waiting for you to wake up. The reason symbols don't leave you alone is because something in your energy field is already shifting, whether you want it to or not, whether you act or not. And that shift demands a response, because energy that starts to rise but meets resistance creates tension. And tension that's not resolved turns into chaos in your inner and outer life. And that's where most people are stuck, not because they're unlucky or broken, but because they ignored the earlier nudges, the first signals, the moments of strange synchronicity, the dreams that felt too real, the conversations that seemed too coincidental, the numbers that repeated for days, the images that haunted them without explanation. And because they didn't act when the signals were soft, life had to get louder, more intense, more disruptive. And symbols are not just there to guide you, they're there to protect you from that level of breakdown. They're early intervention from the intelligence of your higher self, from the universal energy that sees further ahead than your mind ever could. And when you ignore the map, you can't blame the terrain for being hard to cross, and symbols are maps, but not like the ones you read with your eyes. They're maps your energy field decodes instantly, and that's why some symbols resonate with you and others don't, because your system knows what it needs to see at that time. So when a symbol keeps reappearing, it's not for decoration, it's because that exact code is necessary for your next step. And if you resist it, you delay not just external progress but inner coherence, and incoherence is what lowers vibration the fastest, not stress, not fear, but misalignment. The split between what you know and what you live. the gap between what you feel and what you act on. And symbols expose that gap, they highlight it, not to shame you, but to give you the chance to collapse that distance and raise your frequency through clarity and action. And most people want to raise their vibration, but they're avoiding the very signals that would show them how. And it's not about trying harder, it's about responding sooner, with less doubt, less hesitation, less need for external approval. And that's why symbols are the perfect tool. They bypass logic. They don't argue, they appear, and their power lies in simplicity and frequency, not complexity. And people overthink symbols because they don't want to face what they really mean. But the meaning is always the same: shift, act, align, elevate, repeat. And the reason symbols feel mysterious is because your mind is trying to do a job that only your awareness can do, and awareness is instant. It knows, it feels, it responds, and no overthinking required. And here's something most people don't understand: symbols are not just external. They show up in your body too, through sensations, through sudden waves of emotion, through intuition spikes that feel like pressure or lightness or chills or even tension. And when you feel that in the presence of a symbol, that's confirmation. That's your system reacting to the energy of the symbol. And that's the key. You don't need to understand it mentally to use it energetically. You just need to engage. And when you engage, your vibration starts to shift naturally, because symbols are like tuning forks. When you connect with one, your energy harmonizes to a higher frequency, and everything around you begins to change. Your thoughts, your mood, your decisions, your timing, and suddenly life feels smoother. Not because problems disappear, but because your vibration is no longer stuck in the same patterns. And people think raising your vibration means becoming someone else. But it doesn't. It means becoming fully aligned with who you already are, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the conditioning. And symbols help strip that away by focusing your energy on what matters. And when you focus, you amplify. And when you amplify, your field strengthens. And a strong energy field naturally repels chaos, attracts clarity, and creates flow. And that's the real reason symbols are powerful, not because they're magical, but because they focus you, and focus is power. And most people are powerless not because they lack energy, but because their focus is scattered, diluted, distracted. And symbols are the ancient tool to bring that focus back instantly. No meditation needed, no ritual needed, just presence, recognition, and action. And that's why symbols are used across all spiritual systems. They work. Because energy recognizes energy. And when your energy meets the frequency of a true symbol, something activates. And from that activation comes clarity. And from clarity comes aligned action. And from aligned action comes vibration increase. And from higher vibration comes a new reality. And the cycle continues. But the first step is always the same: see the symbol, respond, shift, and repeat. And now the only question is, what symbol has been following you? And what are you going to do with it before life forces you to move?